Like, literally, if you go onto NBC Peacock,
You're seeing
anything,
Nathan.
you
Nathan's face is everywhere.
It makes me feel so bad for, like, Vincent, where I'm just like,
True.
wow, like, Vincent's face is on nothing. Like, damn, Nathan's just on, like, everything, like, taking up all the real estate.
Taking up
all the
real
ads,
estate.
even though the toe looks like a Sal, because you never know what you're gonna get from him.
Salto. He also tested negative
Negative
enough.
Yep.
And was there for the men's short. The uncharacteristic fall in the long program. That was so scary. I was like watching it, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
She almost like fell on her head.
Okay, so this is the first time the internet is probably hearing us speak, so why don't we give a brief bio to explain why we're semi-qualified to talk about figure skating in the first place. So Sammy and Emma, why don't you guys start first, because I feel like your guys' skating resume is way more stacked than mine.
Sure. Hi everyone, my name is Emma, and I'm a former Junior Grand Prix competitor.
And my name is Sammy, and I'm a former U.S. national competitor.
And I'm Cathy, and I am a current U.S. competitive adult skater, so definitely not as qualified as Emma and Sammy, but I have been skating for 4 years, so I suppose I know a thing or two now about
and
skating.
She skates way more than any of the rest of us.
No, but guess who can land a double axel? Not me. But you guys are killing it, so.
Sammy, what do you think is like the optimal strategy for countries going into the games?
So for me, I kind of think that at least in terms of what we've seen here and in past team events in the Olympics, generally countries will try to choose kind of stable, reliable skaters to skate the short program. And this is perhaps because there is sort of a greater like variability in the short in terms of how many points you can get. So it's kind of a more like offensive strategy in the short to try to build up as much momentum as possible for the skaters that you choose to skate the long program, because there's a smaller range of points. Going along with what you were saying though, what do you guys think about Russia not splitting up any of the disciplines, just going with their best, absolute best, most reliable people in each discipline? Because I was pretty shocked about that, honestly.
Oh, yeah. I think I was the most shocked about them putting Kamila in both events, because I know she's been breaking like every single world record humanly possible, and she seems invincible, and somehow like one of the only girls who fortunately has been able to stay healthy and has not gotten injured, despite probably how many reps she's doing. I was shocked because I'm not sure like if this is the smartest strategy. I'm just worried that they're going to make the same mistake that they did with Yulia a couple years back when they put her in both the short and the free for the team event, and then she ended up placing 5th. So yeah, fingers crossed. Another thing that kind of like comes into play when teams like do these selections and figure out which disciplines they want to split or not is whether or not they want to save like one of their like stars or one of their like gold medal contenders, like save them like energy for the individual event to bring home that medal. Like for example, like the US split the men because they definitely probably didn't want to like tire out Nathan.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the US choosing Karen?
I mean, in my mind, Karen has like earned the right to do that. You know, it's her second Olympic Games. She wasn't chosen for the team event in 2018 in Pyeongchang.
Right.
And some people felt like she should have gotten that opportunity. Karen's kind of appealing factor in terms of like how she's viewed with international judges. I think that, especially in terms of PCS, her performance quality, I think those factors like came into play for the US to choose her. However, people were pretty upset about them not choosing Mariah because she won US Nationals. Seems like she's been heading towards peaking this season, you know, starting out not as strong, but then getting more and more consistent as the season goes on. In the end, it was enough to get the job done for the US. And I don't think the result would have changed if Mariah had skated. Japan's team choices, I thought they were like very strategic and good choices. Yuzu was not in the team event for Japan.
I mean, I am not surprised at all,
Yeah.
because Yuzu did not do the team event in Pyeongchang in 2018 either. Understandably so, because back then he was coming off of ankle injury. But of course, this time he is also coming out of another injury. Like, I swear this guy is like just superhuman. It's actually crazy that for some reason, it just seems like he gets injured every time the Olympic season, and then he somehow just like comes back at the very end again. And just for the sake of, his body, I am glad that he did not do the team event, because like, I think what's most important is that we just like keep him healthy.
What did you guys think about them putting Wakaba in for the short and Kari for the long? I think I was a little bit surprised because I thought they would want Kaori, who's like #1 right now in Japan, to go for the short.
Right. No, I thought the same exact thing, because Kaori is also just a bit more consistent overall, and she just seems to be a little bit more favored by the Japanese Federation. So I thought they would put her in the riskier segment of the short. And also, Wakaba's long is literally it's literally one of my favorite programs. Like, she sells it so well, and that triple axel when she hits is freaking gorgeous. It's like, it's not like a teeny little triple axel. It is huge. It is like it is like Midori Ito level. I swear to God, I feel like I don't know if it's just me, it just feels like only like Japanese girls jump these huge triple axel. Like, it's just like,
I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
And Mirai, right?
Yeah.
Like I just feel like I just like I personally love it, because it's all these girls who look super healthy in like a good way. They're super, just strong and athletic. They're not, super thin or frail, and they're going for these triple axels and just making them huge, which I think speaks so big to just, the athleticism piece of skating, which I think is just awesome.
Okay, so another country that has been successful in the team event in the past, but was not so successful this time around is Canada.
Oh, man.
And it was kind of a really unfortunate situation with Keegan Messing testing positive for COVID about a week ago or so, and then going through, all of this, obviously quarantine, and then testing to get the requisite number of negative tests before flying in. And so
flying across the world.
Flying across the world. God. Something like 31 hours was his flight.
Holy Jesus.
Total, crazy. But of course, that being said, he was not there for the team event in which he was supposed to do presumably both events. So
wow. I didn't know he actually had COVID, but
you can always count on Keegan to make a competition chaotic.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I mean, gotta give the props to this guy. This guy is freaking 30. I was like, if I were 30, I would be so over the moon if I can do like a eighth of the things that he does. So it's just crazy, and it's funny. I don't know if you guys seen like that one video floating around on like Twitter where it's just like Keegan taking a sigh of relief after like a practice session. He's like, oh my God, thank God I am here and I don't have COVID. And I just feel like he was like so done with life, and he's just so glad to be there.
Yeah. Definitely. I anytime I see Keegan perform and see his footwork, I'm like reminded of the time where I got to skate on the same ice as him. This is a bit of an aside, but it was like so crazy because I just remember him running his footwork like over and over and over again, and he just put so much energy into it that like he was almost falling multiple times in his footwork. And I feel like that just, sums up perfectly what he brings to the events whenever he's in them. I know Ukraine also had a withdrawal in the team event for COVID, which I kind of thought it brought up like an interesting point of what should happen in those situations. So when you have a withdrawal after the entries are already in, you can't replace that person.
Like, if there's any time to make rule exceptions, it's
it's this year
of COVID. It's 2022. So I feel like it is like, you can build like as negative of a bubble as you want. You literally cannot freaking track where COVID is in the air. Like, you can't see that shit. Like, you just yes, wear all the N95 masks in the world, but like you still have that risk.
Yeah.
In this case, I feel like I guess like Ivan, who is Ukraine skater, was actually lucky in a sense because he wasn't able to skate the team event short program, but then he tested negative enough times to skate the individual event.
Yeah,
Wow.
like
Yeah.
this is something I've been hearing a lot is like this like testing negative enough thing. And I'm just like, what is this arbitrary like negative enough? Like I know there's like that whole shebang with Danny G testing positive for COVID and then somehow he tested negative enough to
He
like
tested negative enough
to like show up to the Winter Olympics. And I was just like, this negative enough seems sketchy to me, but
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. There's probably some like rule.
I guess that leads us into kind of talking more about the men.
Of course, we can start with the US's biggest star, Nathan Chen, because everyone's been talking about him. And I think there is so much pressure on him this year. Just kind of like that same like Simone Biles pressure, like in the Summer Olympics, where it's like he's like that one US stars in the Winter Olympics. Like literally, if you go onto NBC Peacock,
You're seeing
anything,
Nathan. Nathan's face is everywhere.
Yeah, Nathan's face is everywhere on every single like
Absolutely.
thumbnail, on every single like like Winter Olympic thing. It makes me feel so bad for like Vincent, where I'm just like,
True.
wow, like Vincent's face is on nothing. I mean, like Jason too, but like still, it's just like I just feel bad. I'm just like, damn, Nathan's just on like everything, like taking up all the real estate.
Taking
all the
real
ads.
estate.
Yeah, all the ads, but rightfully so, because he's he is who he is. But yeah, no, so Nathan, I feel like we were all like holding our breath for him because he, of course, if you guys follow skating, did not do well and faltered at the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics. We were all so scared that Nathan was going to be haunted by the ghost of his Olympic past. And especially in the beginning of the season when he literally like picked the same program music, and I was like,
Nemesis, right?
I was like, boy, we're all about
what are you doing?
We're all about facing our fears like head first, but this is next level. US stars in the Winter Olympics. So like I would not be able to compete in a program and do that same triple axel to the same music and be like, oh shit, I can't fall this time. But it was great to see Nathan have a great strong showing. But Shoma also had a really strong showing here.
I think Shoma seems kind of more confident to me at this competition. He seems like I can trust him more.
In the past, couple of seasons, I feel like has kind of been like wild child, a little bit of like a chaotic energy too, maybe not much as like Keegan. But I feel like still a little bit of that chaotic energy where like he just goes for these quad jumps and he'll land them from time to time, but the landing will be like super swirly. He definitely seems a lot more like level-headed. I don't know if it's that I think like working with Lambiel has definitely like done him some good. They seem to work well together.
Yeah, and if we're talking about Lambiel, I'm pretty sure his coach wasn't there with him for the team event short because Lambiel has tested positive for COVID before he left for Beijing. So.
Oh God, are you serious? Him too?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he also tested negative enough. And was there for the men's short individual.
Oh my God, yeah, because I was like, am I tripping? Because I remember seeing Lambiel somewhere. But yeah, I guess it's again one of our little gray area ambiguous negative enough cases. Speaking of the Japanese men, we have our newbie. He is such a cutie. I think he is so adorable. Can we just like talk about Yuma? Like Yuma is the new guy on the scene in Japanese figure skating.
He added in his quad loop, which I'm pretty sure is a new jump for him. First time performing competition, and in the long program of the team event, he did a bit of a turn out of it, but I'm pretty sure it was fully rotated, so good for him.
Yeah, I absolutely love his skating. I think at the very beginning of the season, when I was kind of seeing him for the first time, and he did place like second at Worlds this past year, so he's definitely coming into his own. I felt like his short program material was maybe like a little bit too like junior-ish, because he is very young. He's 18. And so I wasn't sure if he would be able to like grow into it and grow into kind of like senior international like components judging, but he absolutely proved me wrong.
Yeah, no, I actually really liked his Smile program. I feel like that program caters to his like adorable nature, like a very playful, joyous program. So I think that was like a good choice. And yeah, literally he is like so adorable. Like his little like it's so funny because like I think someone tweeted this where they were like, this man just performed like this freaking quad loop and then he's hopping off the ice like a little buddy, like because he's just so excited that he skated well. And I was just like, wow, it's great. And you can see him have that shared moment in the kiss and cry with his dad who coaches him. Oh my god, wait, can we talk about this real quick? So Emma and I were having this conversation. You said Yuma's dad reminds you of Nishan? Like, can you explain? Can you please explain? Like, I was like, I don't what?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I feel like Yuma's dad is to Yuma as Mishin is to Elisaveta.
Oh
yeah. That's kind of the energy that's I just think the way that they present themselves at competition, just being this like kind of stern either like father figure or like grandfatherly figure, and then just like supporting their skater quietly, not really being super outwardly expressive or anything. They're just kind of like a calming presence. And when like Mission or Yuma's dad ends up having like a reaction in the kiss and cry, it's just like a very precious moment to see them kind of like break their character. And I think that the connection that Yuma has with his dad is really special. And it's no understanding that Yuma's dad had some like health issues in previous years and he couldn't travel with him to competitions. So being able to kind of see his dad with him on the Olympic stage and see him do so well is very, very like heartwarming.
I think Mark is another chaotic one.
Oh yeah. Big chaotic energy. He just kind of
hangs on.
He just like hangs on for dear life. Like that's like the best way to describe it. Like I remember like watching, like I don't know if you guys remember his combo with the Oiler in it, and he almost sent himself into the boards. I was like, oh my dear Lord. And he managed to get that Oiler like just around more than normal to get the last jump in without hitting the boards. And I was like,
did he end up doubling that so as not to like hit the boards, or was that not what happened?
Did he still do the triple? I thought he still did the triple.
I don't remember.
Am I crazy? I don't remember. Well, anyways, like crazy save. I mean, like it wasn't pretty, but like
he saved it.
Yeah, it's another
got
talent.
It done.
Yeah, it's another talent to be able to save a jump like that.
Literally every time I see him skate, I'm like, wow, he's really just skating like his life depends on it.
I know. And okay, so I don't know about you guys, but I feel like especially like the second part of his music reminds me a lot of Elisaveta's music. Like it's that same like I don't know, like Egyptian.
Oh, like the drum beats.
Yes, it's like the badum thing.
Badum.
But like you guys know what I mean, right? It's like the catchy step sequence, like Egyptian sounding beats. I don't know. And even his costume too, like that collar that looks like I don't know, freaking Cleopatra's necklace. I don't know.
It's true.
But it's just like it reminds me, like I just so wish Elizabeth. This is a side combo, but I just so wish she made it to the Olympics. Like just imagine like her and Mark both having their badum moment and their step sequence to Egyptian music like that. That would be an Olympic moment for me. So we'll on to a more sad topic. We have Vincent. Oh my god, Vincent. Okay, let's just first talk about his performance in the teams. Of course, they sent Vincent to do the long because obviously he has the quads. And when Vincent hits, he definitely hits. And he has worked so hard this season. And you can kind of tell because he was originally also not one of those great PCS skaters, but his PCS has really improved a lot. And you can tell he really focused on attention detail.
I thought Vincent in the long definitely did much better than he did at US Nationals, but I still felt like during the team event he was a little bit tight on a lot of his jumps, and we saw that reflected in his scoring where he got a couple under rotations. And then also the pop, I believe, on his second jump, the flip. So
Yeah.
I think after I watched him pop that jump, I was like, oh no, is this gonna go downhill from here? But then luckily he was able to keep his focus. And yeah, before we heard of the news that he had tested positive for COVID.
Yeah. And like with the positive, like I felt so bad because I felt like Vincent was disappointed in himself after the team event because of that pop. And I feel like Vincent's like that type of athlete who, like, because he messed that up, he's gonna go into the individual event like
Yeah,
super
definitely.
hyper focused. Like, I'm gonna do this. I didn't nail it in the team event. I'm gonna nail it in the individual event. And just to see him not have the chance to be able to just like not even prove that to like the world, but prove that to himself that he can do it was just so heartbreaking. Like, I don't know if you guys saw his like Instagram video that he posted.
Yeah.
That was just one of the most
It was crushing. Yeah,
crushing things to watch. I'm like, I am depressed. I was like, I need to go see a therapist now because I just watched Vincent's video, because like I just cannot imagine like someone training their whole lives, dedicating so much of their hours and lives to this one thing that bubbled up to this one event, this one moment, and to have that be taken away by freaking a virus. Like, the fuck. And I'm like, my heart goes out to it. Let's get us out of this depressing hole, because I'm gonna like let's not spiral into the hole of depression. What do you guys think of like Boyan Jin's performance for China?
I mean, I feel like Boyan had a lot of pressure on him, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, competing at home with you know, just like all eyes being on him as the sole man competing for China.
His skating, I do think he has improved quite a bit, specifically in his like Bolero long program. I think during his footwork, he really, really tried to like emote and connect with the music.
Yeah. Oh my God. Now you mentioned Bolero, I'm like, God damn it. I was like, literally everyone is doing Bolero.
There are so many Boleros at this Olympics.
I hate Bolero. Like, I swear to God, it just sounds so repetitive, and I'm just not a big fan of Bolero. But yeah, so the last thing I want to talk about, I feel like it's like almost like a meme at this point, is Morisi. Is that how you say his name?
Sometimes they say Morris, sometimes they say Morisi.
I feel like Atiri is slowly, you know, trying to get into the men's domain as well, which is funny.
I can't say that I can't say that I usually remember his performances too much.
Yeah, that's a bad start.
It might sound bad to say, but yeah, I mean, I always feel like I'm kind of rooting for him when he does well in a way, even though the toe looks like a Sal, because you never know what you're gonna get from him.
Salto.
Yeah, the salto. You literally never know. Like, it could be everything like looks easy and fine, and he's creating new jumps.
He's creating new jumps.
Or it's just really off, and then the lack of, you know, complexity and intricacy of the program is really exposed. But I will say,
we can't forget about his cartwheel though. His cartwheel's a special moment.
Oh my God, what are these like? What are these Russians with these cartwheels? Like, didn't Evgenia do one in her program like right before she retired to? Oh my Lord,
to Alegria.
Yeah. Like, okay, Emma, like I asked you this before, but can you give some technical insight into how someone even does a salto in the first place? Like, how do you even, like, you know, like why do you think, like, what do you think in this training or his fundamentals led him to kind of create this new jump?
Yeah, so what I think, so we know that a sow is an edge jump and a toe is obviously a toe jump where you have to jump off like your toe pick on your foot. But when I see Maurici's jumps, not that I can do any quads, like doing quads is crazy, but I would think that Maurici probably learned his sow first and then learned his toe second, and was kind of just trying to get the same feeling of the quad sow on the quad toe. So when he puts his foot down on the toe, it's not really ever the toe pick, it's kind of just his whole foot. So yeah,
who knows, maybe one day it will actually be a, you know, an actual element. Oh man,
I hope not, but maybe.
Yeah, I hope not. I was like, that's another jump for me to learn. Okay. But yeah,
Well,
I
there's
don't need.
potential to fall off the back of your heel, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
kind of scary.
it's a little scary. Yeah, like
A
I
little
don't want
bit.
to learn that. Yeah, I have enough things to learn as an adult skater.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the ladies.
Starting off with Kamila. So in her short program, she did do everything. She executed everything very well. In her long program, we saw her falter a little bit on her second quad toe, where she ended up falling.
She actually got really emotional after short, which I guess I was a little surprised by, because I feel like most people get a little bit more, emotional after the individual events where like everything is done and you just have that release. But of course, I think she said in an interview that like kind of her short is dedicated to her grandma or something like that. And I'm sure that holds like some emotional weight to it.
I think it's interesting that we always see this sort of contrast with Terry's attitude towards her most successful skater of the moment, which is Kamila, of course. Terry was wearing her hoodie. Terry is always like the most willing to have fun in the kiss and cry and like goof around with the skater who's like doing the best, and the others it's like straight face.
I literally took a screenshot of this because I thought it was so funny. She was literally like doing like the heart thing over her head with like all of Team Russia, and I was like, wow, I haven't seen a Terry like this in like a long time.
Possibly ever.
Possibly ever.
That being said, we talked earlier about the Japanese ladies.
Kaori, like her jumps are beautiful. I think she has one of the best like double axles. Like again with the Japanese ladies.
So much speed and distance.
I feel like almost all the Japanese ladies' double axles are also just beautiful. Like you can see the potential for the triple.
I think the music choice is like so interesting because I feel like I hate the first half and I love the second half. Like, I don't know what you guys think, but I feel like the first half is so weird. I know it's all like, about women empowerment. It's like, yeah, like independent women. But I just thought the part where it was like, I am your daughter. I am your sister. And I was like, this is a little bit weird.
Okay, honestly, hot take. After watching her skate her program at Japanese Nationals and then in the team event, I was like, okay, I can kind of see where this is going. It kind of gives you that like moment, that energy.
Yeah, I can see the vision. I can't say I would ever really choose the vision, but I can also say that like she is the only one suited to be able to do it.
Yeah. It's because she skates with such joy. Like she is literally like Japan's like ray of sunshine. I feel like Wakaba too. Like they're both just like rays of sunshine on ice. Like you can truly tell like they want to be there because they want to like be there. The last part of her program, I feel like she sells that dramatic music so well with the step sequence. And I was like trying to figure out what her step sequence music was. And you know how like when you watch the broadcast, like the music comes up, like the music for her step sequence is literally called Tris. I don't know if you guys heard of it. I was like, why does that seem so familiar? And then I did like a Google search, and it turns out her step sequence music is from the YA like movie from when we were teens. Do you remember like the movie Divergent?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Teenage me used to watch this movie, be in love with it, and listen to that soundtrack all the freaking time. And that's why I love.
Oh my god.
I absolutely love the second half of her program. I was like, wow, what a throwback.
Third place finish, Maddie Skeesis from Canada.
I think she's definitely like a fighter. I think like I feel like there's two types of skaters, like ones who like get emotional after like the performance of their life, and there's the other one where she's like, yeah, like I got the fucking job done. And I feel like Maddie is definitely has that like feisty energy about her, which is great. You see her have that moment after the long when she it's so funny. I was watching this with a friend, and you can tell like I'm pretty sure she said something like "fuck yeah" or something like that, and you just see like NBC has like the close up to your face, and then right before she said that, it like cuts away.
I'm dead. Oh my god.
I just thought that was really funny, but no, she definitely did great. And part of being on that team event is like I feel like without the team event, I feel like nobody would have really paid as much attention to someone like a Maddie Skeezes.
Yeah, definitely.
And now she's definitely like more on the forefront of, not just like audience and skating fans, but also just like international judges, which is interesting how the team event can kind of like put a skater like that out there.
So after we talk about Maddie, we also want to talk a little bit about Karen.
Oh, Karen. I feel like
Karen.
I'm always sitting on the edge of my seat when I watch her skate. Yeah, I just really enjoy the fact that she has like such a beautiful kind of Michelle Kwan moment spiral in all of her programs. Yes. And like she brings that like classic quality of like old time skating, I feel.
I'm glad she kind of had her like loop redemption in the long. And as like someone who's watching, she messed up that jump in the short, and I was literally like, her loop going into the long, I was like, oh my God, please land it. But yeah, like she does have a lot of under rotation, but I would say like I would give her credit for that beautiful height that she gets on all her jumps. I feel like it's almost like she has so much height, but she only starts rotating kind of at the apex of that height, which is what's causing that delayed rotation and that under rotation coming down from that jump despite the height.
And then I think we can't not talk about Beverly or Jui from the Chinese Federation, who also competed in both segments of the team event. I think she just had so much pressure on her that during the short, she didn't do well. And then in the long, I just felt like she really wasn't present.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely crazy. Like, I can't believe she's getting so many, threats from people online, from China, from like social media. Like, if the US audience is not familiar, like Weibo is like basically Chinese Twitter, and there's so much just hate about her, and I'm just like, y'all don't even know, and y'all don't even watch skating. Like, did you expect a gold medal from like the ladies discipline in China? Like, China has not produced like a really, really good ladies for like as long as I have like remembered. And I just feel like I can't believe they're putting so much pressure on this poor girl. The fact that, she is American, people made it seem like she like sneaked onto the Chinese national team as like American, but really that's not the case. And I never seen anyone so scared to be on the ice.
Yeah, so scared to skate.
Like literally, like even before she started, her face is like blank, and she just looked like, I was so scared for her, and especially in her long.
Yeah.
I just felt like she was gonna like stop the program and just start breaking down. I wish I can just tell all these haters, like, how about you put on a goddamn pair of skates and try to
do a
triple and tell me how hard that is. Like, then you maybe can shut up about all your hate that you're throwing around, because figure skating is hard as fuck.
That is true.
Yeah.
So Sammy, what about the dance event?
The dance event. I kind of think it was like the most interesting among all 4 disciplines in the team event. Maybe I'm kind of biased because I love all the drama that exists in the dance. Pretty much everyone that is kind of had in their minds that Russia would be a lock for silver, and that the US teams, so Hubble and Donahue and Chalk and Bates, would be battling out with the Canadian team, Piper and Paul, for that bronze medal. And so I think it was obviously a huge confidence boost for both Hubble and Donahue and Chalk and Bates to face off with Vicky and Nikki, as we like to call them, from Russia, and beating them in both segments. I watched Chalk and Bates free dance, and I genuinely thought, this might beat them. I think personally, Vicky and Nikki's like kind of choreographic sequence at the end of their free, where it transitions into the more like folky part of the classical music, it looks off to me. And I feel like it wasn't scored as positively here as it was at Europeans.
I thought Chalk and Bates had maybe like a better chance at the medal than Hubble and Donahue, just because I feel like they have more of like a presence with the international judges, and just like literally like how Maddie sells everything, like any concept, so freaking well. But I feel like just even like putting something out there that is so unique in terms of, you know, all their lifts and all their positions, their free dance concept is interesting to say the least. I would say, like, given the concept, I still think like they definitely sell it really well. Like Maddie gives all the face in the world, and I love how she does it even before like the program actually starts. You know, when the skater like sets up, and they're just like stopping before their music actually starts. You can tell she gets into character like the moment she steps on the ice, which is like pretty iconic, and I love that for her.
Also, her outfit and makeup play a part in that too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, didn't someone say like, oh my god, her hair looks like Johnny Weir's?
Oh yeah.
I thought Chalk and Bates was going to do the short and Hubble and Donahue was going to do their long. But maybe that's just a personal preference because I actually really liked Chalk and Bates' rhythm dance. But actually, I feel like after I watched the team event, I think Hubble and Donahue actually really did sell that Janet Jackson program really well. And I was like, oh damn, like I like this a lot. Like the concept is good for them.
In terms of the short, I did feel like Hubble and Donahue did skate better than the Russian team. Nikita bobbled a little bit on the twizzle sequence. And then like Hubble and Donahue are very powerful skaters, and they really skated with the music. It wasn't like the music was overpowering anything.
So adding in the jumps to couple skating.
Oh my god.
Cathy, what did you think about the pairs event here?
Personally, I feel like the talk of this Olympics have been Sui and Han. Because
I love them.
yes, no, I love them. They're my absolute favorites. They're so special, like in my heart. And honestly, I was really rooting for them in the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics last cycle. And they got the silver medal, but unfortunately missed gold by a very slight margin. So definitely they had a really strong showing in the team event. They did the short program, and which is as expected. I feel like they're China's they are to China as Nathan Chen is to the US. They're kind of like the star of figure skating for China. Because I feel like China has traditionally been the country that does deliver in pairs, but not so much in the singles events. You know, everything that they do is exquisite in terms of the artistry, the attention to detail. You know, everything is just so well executed. I would say the only thing that sometimes they struggle on is the side-by-side jumps, which we all know at this point. But I'm glad to see like they were completely clean for the short.
I love their short program concept and music choice so much. It's mature, it's like spot on, and it looks so incredibly like difficult in terms of how fast it is and everything, but they make it look so easy. And in that regard, their overall quality is so much more developed than Mishina and Galyamov, the Russian team, that is kind of favored to win points wise. And I just really hope that they can, you know, put it all together with, again, that like huge national pressure from China and win their, in my eyes, you know, very well-deserved Olympic gold.
We do compare them a lot to Mishina and Galyamov, who is known to be a very, very consistent team, but then they had the uncharacteristic fall in the long program. And that was so scary. I was like watching it, I was like, oh my god. She almost like fell on her head. What did you guys think of that?
Yeah, no, when that first happened, like maybe let's break it down a little. Like I was just like, how did that even happen in the first place? Like what did you guys, what was your guys' take? Like did you feel like it definitely looked like towards the end of the program, he looked more tired than normal for some reason. And I think from my point of view, it just might have been like some of his strength just like gave out. But what were your guys' thoughts?
Maybe it was like time difference. I don't know, but he did look a little bit more tired. And then it looked like as he was exiting the lift, he kind of either like slipped or tripped on his edge, and then they started to go down, and he tried his best to like save her. So like he tilted and ended up taking a lot of the fall on himself, I think.
Yeah. I also don't know if and this is just speculation, right? Because we can't see into like the federation selections and their conversations beforehand. But I don't know if they were informed well before this free skate that they would be competing. I mean, it's possible they went into in both for the team event. It's possible they went into the Olympics knowing that, but it's also possible that Russia saw the US leading on day one and then
and they were like, we need to do something.
To make absolutely sure by like upping their strategy and not taking a chance on Volodymyr and Rozov. They didn't take a chance on putting them in the team event like I expected them to. And so maybe Mishina and Galyamov were not as mentally prepared to be in that free skate.
Yeah. But I guess like moving on from the Russians, I think an underrated pair that I kind of want to talk about is the Japanese pair like Mira and Kihara.
I feel like I don't absolutely love their free skate material, but I love them as a team, and seeing them, you know, come into their own this whole season has been incredible to me. And so I was definitely rooting for them to kind of beat out the Americans in both segments.
Wow, so much unpatriotic energy.
I know, right? I know.
I literally don't care.
But it's true. I mean, I think it's partly because I kind of have more of a soft spot for Ashley and Timothy, who didn't get to compete here.
Right.
So then I was especially like, okay.
There was a crazy save where I think
on
it
the
was
throw
on
loop.
It was on the throw loop, and she saved that throw so hard. Her landing was so like
she was literally did a like sit position.
Exactly. Exactly. She was like, I was like, oh my God, this woman has quads of steel, because she was literally like inches off the ice, but she did not give that up. And that is another level of fight. So definitely good for her. Okay, so to wrap things up, we've been talking and rambling about figure skating for way too freaking long. So what are your guys' top topic of this event?
Yeah, so I think the surprising moment of the whole team event for me was seeing both American teams beat the Russian dance team. And I think especially after that little like semi-collision thing between Hubble and Donahue and Vicky and Nikki in the short dance warm-up with that high drama moment. It's always good when there's a little bit like stirring of the pot and like shuffling of the orders that are expected.
God. Shuffling of the orders.
Yeah. I can't believe we didn't even talk about that. But yeah, no, that was like that was wild. It was like another one of those like almost like Unsu and Mariah moments when you're just like, I feel like the US after Tanya Harding just has like such a bad run from time to time. So yeah, but again, I feel like a lot of times like people like to make like drama out of nothing. So but that's figure skating.
I would say my top moment was Yuma's free skate.
I knew you took mine. You knew? You took mine. Okay, anyways, go ahead.
It's because I think it was pretty ballsy and gutsy of him to put the quad loop in, even though he's never done it before in competition, and to do it at the Olympics at his first appearance, I think is something that's very, very hard to do, and he really stepped up to the game and seized opportunities.
Yeah, well, I have nothing to say because Emma just stole mine, but yes, mine is Yuma as well. Well, all right, that is a wrap for today's episode of What Happened on the In the Element Figure Skating Show. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. Leave us a comment down below on your opinions and thoughts, because if you're a figure skating fan, you are definitely opinionated. Be sure to subscribe. We're available on YouTube if you want to get some snazzy visuals, and Spotify if you want to just listen to our crackly voices. Thank you again. Until next time, stay edgy.